needs to be charged. Leads are in good shape. Continuity check test out. Needs a little, maybe. Let's turn that on. A little bit of burring, not too bad. Good to go. Smaller, 6-inch version. Spins well. No issues. Looks pretty clean inside of there. Not too bad. Checks out. Nail nose pliers. Checks out. No issues there. Perfect. $90. And that's how you get really tight screws. Checks out. A little worn right here. Chipped on these edges a little bit. Not so bad. Still very usable. One welding mirror, extendable. Checks out. One mini, multi-function, Phillips, flat edge, 2 sizes, reversible, spins on the outside here so that you can hold it flat on your palm as such. Checks out. Here's my problem tool. And the reason why this is a problem tool, because it's my favorite. I go through about 3 of these a year. Shoot, I probably go through about 5 of these a year. And here's why. I lose the bit on some of them. 11 and 1. We have several functions here. Flat edge, Phillips. This is a quarter socket. This is a quarter socket still, but this for your electrical connections. And for the other side, it's a square bit. This is your 5/8 side. Schrader valve remover. Can everybody see okay? Y'all have any questions? Other side is a core. And then that itself, 5/16. Does not check out. Got a new one though. I just forgot. I haven't put it in the bag yet. PVC cutters. Ratcheting. Only up to a 1/2 inch. Sorry, 1.25 inches. Will not do 1.5 inches or 2. However, checks out. Electrical screwdriver. Reverse. Forward. Illuminated on the end. Capable of any 1/4 inch bit. Rechargeable. Checks out. Six-inch level. Table seems okay. What about this way? A little rounded, could be off. And let's see if we can find our perfect 45, 90, we'll see. Ah, there it is. Checks out. Good to go. Thread sealant. Brush and bottle. AKA pipe dope. This seals all your gas connections. Will not work for water. Do not attempt to use for water. But as you can see, works. Even the threads on the cap are already getting sealed. Very important not to the bag weight has tilted. Very important not to get the thread sealant into the teeth of your tools as such, because what ends up happening, you can't grip. See how you lose the edge. These channel locks, adjustable, several positions. Does not check out, however, for one reason. It's not so much the thread sealant. This can be cleaned. I'll demonstrate that here in a moment. Does not check out for the fact that I use these for welding all the time, and therefore compensates the integrity of them. So, use for now, we'll replace. angle cutter, diagonal. These come in long handle, these come in short handle. I prefer the 9-inch with a diagonal cut. As you can see, it is flat on the back and does cut at an edge. Let me get that right. There. Uses, everything. Wires, zip ties. This is actually a new pair. Checks out. Wire strippers. Many different sizes. If you ever look at the gauge of your wire, if you ever look at the wires that you see in the store, they have numbers. And those numbers indicate the gauge of that wire. This one also includes the ability to crimp. Works out very well. Also has the 2 holes here for if you need to take a wire. What you do is you put it in there and you twist these and it gives you a perfect round edge to your wire. This pair, a little older, a little rusted, however, still very functional. Checks out very well. Two different size flathead screwdrivers. These particular ones are diamond tipped. I cannot say I recommend diamond tips for everything. I've caused a little bit more damage than intended with these. So do not necessarily recommend diamond tips. Have this set in the 2 Phillips, the 2 flatheads, and the 2 little ones I'll demonstrate later. I actually have a replacement set of these because of the reasons I listed just now. But for now, checks out. Blue wire nuts. These are the small ones. Brand new. Double spade wire connectors. Just what you need whenever you are putting in wiring that needs 2 different things going to the same place. These work out very well. I carry these as well as the other end, the normal spade connectors. So the way these work, very easy, just like such. There you go. You get 2 wires into one with just like that. Getting a little low. I don't use a bunch of these every year. Probably enough to last through the middle of the summer. These are really low though. Needs replacing. Need to write that down too. I have some other wire nuts in here loose. These are the orange ones. These are your typical wire nuts that you use for anything from pretty much 14 to 12 gauge. That's your normal size for those. Got quite a few all tucked in there. So those for now. Check out what else is in here. Got some various odds and end wire nuts. Your large ones. Any of your 12 gauge, 10 gauge. However, anything 10 gauge, you should not really be necessarily wire nutting except in a temporary manner. But you know what? I come across many people that do. I do it myself. So don't need very many. Checks out. All right, lots of stuff in here. Charger for the electric screwdriver. Gotta have the charger. There it is. These Schrader valve connectors. My work deals with refrigerant. These are what are inside of a valve in order to give me the ability to verify how much is in there. This is my various stuffs compartment. And trust me, there's tons of various things. This is for your manometer. This helps read your gas pressure. Spare bit. Actually, just an old bit. Probably put it here at the house. And we have a valve cover. Let's see. Only real thing to make sure I have in here, maybe this bit right here. This is a 7/16. Whoops, sorry about the lighting there. 7/16, 5/8, 3/8, apologize. So these are for really big screws. I deal in a lot of commercial and industrial, so I need that bigger bit ability. I carry this bit in a few different ones. I got a special surprise. These are relatively new to the market. And if you look at this particular bit, it has these teeth right there on the end of it. And so for my industry, we deal in a lot of taping where people have came behind and taped or done a bunch of sealant. And in order to get to those screws, you know, it's under 3 layers of stuff. And in that 3 layers of stuff, or underneath that 3 layers of stuff, is your screw. So what this does is, instead of clogging up this type of bit, right, this chews up that tape, chews up that sealant, and gets you down and into that screw. These things are really neat. It was a little expensive for them. I have it in this size, as well as in a shorter size like this one. So these are really cool. And it's interchangeable. There's your quarter. And there's your 5/16. So that is what we use in my industry most commonly, quarter, 5/16. However, I do carry a 5/16 and 3/8 bit as well, interchangeable. These reversible bits are great, very easy to pop off and then turn around and pop on, as well as that tip is magnetic. So any of your screws, it does magnetize to those, right? And I carry those bits in quarter and in 5/16 and 2 different extended sizes. Seems kind of odd. However, in a lot of my heaters, this size is perfect. This size is too long, and this size will not reach. So even with extenders, the little one still has issues. So I carry all 3 of those for that reason. And all 3 are in good shape. Sorry about that. Checks out. Mini channel locks, adjustable wrench, a little bit of rust. I'm not big on working in the rain for this reason. I don't like my tools rusting up. It still doesn't deplete from their functionality, but over time it will. However, this set checks out. hex key wrench. This is available, lots of different sizes. This particular one is just an SAE. I only know that because, oh, it does say it right there, but also because it's red. They do red for the standard and metric for the blue. I only carry this in standard because it's falling apart. And I have a new set that doesn't quite need to be together like that. So, headlamp, carry 2 of these actually. This is my backup. This is just a standard 300 lumen lamp. I carry another 600 lumen in the top of my pier. We'll get to that one. But batteries are good, especially in the backup. I keep that charged. I keep that one checked because the last thing you want is to have a dead backup. So, tool bag checks out on this part. We'll keep that out because that needs to stay. Put this over here. Please feel free to comment or questions or anything like that. Still new, however, there's your 3/8 bit. Previous employer gave all of us one of these for a project, and I carry it in another set, so didn't need this one. Backup bit. So they stuck together. That is the short version of that 3/8 there. And I mentioned that bit with the teeth on it. This is the small version of that one. And here is another hex key set. This was why I wasn't too worried about the other. I carry this one, and this has multiple abilities to it as well. This has gotten wet, rusted, oh well, still functional. I don't need these outside of the heating season too much, so I'm not too concerned with replacing this at this time. This is for your refrigerant. It has locking caps on it for some of y'all. For some of y'all who don't have it, this is what you can put on your refrigerant caps that lock, and you need a special key to unlock them, and that is what these are. These fit all of those various caps. Very important to make sure I have that ready, because I have to be able to get into, find out anything I can. So the red is for 410 and the green is the R22. I know based on the size of this. And then this right here is a unique one. They actually make this in a key. They used to make this in a keychain. They no longer do. It's got recalled. They didn't really want to give us a good reason why. Whatever. So, perfect. Checks out. $700 lumen headlamp. Also has night vision. Very good for the attics, and you know, when you don't realize it when you come out of an attic or when you go into an attic, how bright it is outside and how dark it is in there, and then you have to adjust. Very, very easy to do with that ability. That checks out. These mini splits, you have to be able to, every manufacturer for a mini split puts a very special connector onto the ability to look into their refrigerant. Without this connector, you will not ever be able to check the refrigerant on a mini split. Very, very important. In fact, so important to have. I carry two. I carry a straight and I carry a 90. This one works very well when it's down underneath. As such, right? Demonstration. Take the hose off. On some of the manufacturers, when they put them very close to the ground and you are having to get to that adapter, this adapter is hanging upside down. And you might be literally that close to the ground. So you have to be able to get your hose, but if you can, the straight works very well as well. So super important. Each one of these costs like 50 bucks. So very important not to lose those. By the way, digital refrigerant manifold gauges, super important. Gives me the superheat, gives me the subcool values, gives me the ability to change within refrigerants. And we'll turn them on real quick. So it actually has a wireless function here that goes to an app on my phone. I can actually monitor my refrigerant levels through my phone while working in a different area. Has a neat little backlight. And I can go through a very wide variety of refrigerants, a very wide variety of measurements. Sight glass so you can see your refrigerant flow. Works very well. Would not have anything else. Sandpaper. Stuff gets rusty. Very easy to get it off. Teflon tape. Any water connections, this is what you use. I have the thread sealant here. This is your gas connection. That is your water connection. Do not use for water. However, can use for gas. Can of cement, PVC drain lines, any sort of drain line, hence PVC cutters. Bit set. Now, if you look, this thing has got stuff that's all the way full to the edge. So the trick is you cannot open it that way. You can only open it this way, or else every single one of these falls out. These are not part of this bit case. If you look, these are actually DeWalt bits. And these are just every size you need to do a compressor change out. Cobalt, I have to tell y'all, I like Cobalt stuff, but their bit set, I don't. They include about 15 extra PH2s, these Phillips heads. And why is because I've already went through 2 of them. They do not hold up. And like I said, the electric screwdriver, here's all the bits for it. I don't use this bit set very much, except for this side. I don't get into this too much. But still important to carry, very important for lots of things. 2 sets of jumpers. I carry the heavy wire. I do not carry those thin wire. The thin wire ones will fail, especially when you're trying to go across circuits. This is my broken, actually this needs to come out of here. This is a broken outdoor temperature for my gauges. So the wire is still useful, but it's broke. I'll take that out. So that's good. Additional, these are your lug connectors. These are for your compressors. Whenever you want to run compressor wiring, it's usually very high voltage, and on those starts you want a full connection all the way. That's why it's round like that. Anyway, shorty. This is a ratcheting one, and it has multiple bits, Phillips, and a flathead on both sides. And one is a bigger size and the other side is a little smaller. This is perfect for getting into very tight spaces where you don't have a lot of room or that 90 doesn't fit. Anyway, I accidentally have 2 of these in here. I already know I do. And this one is because it's not a ratcheting. This still has the ability to be the other ones, but is non-ratcheting. So this is actually going to come out of here and into a different bag. Schrader valve remover. So if you have a refrigerant charge full and you have a bad Schrader valve, one of these, the only way to get that out is with one of these, otherwise you will dump the charge. This is an $80 tool and it's not very big, right? Like it's literally the size of my hand and it's $80 plus tax for one of these. But if you don't want to dump a whole refrigerant charge, this is what you need. PB Blaster, the best for rust I have found, except for Croyle. Croyle is good. I recently got into Croyle. This is a new tool. I've had to do more electrical work lately. This is a legitimate electrical crimper versus the crimping I was using on here. So check this out. Duck knife. Used for cutting flex duck. It's dirty, but should still be sharp enough. Yeah. Check this out. Oh. These are going to go into a different bag. Electrical connectors, of any interest. And that's it for there. I have some replacements, but Always important to have zip ties. Different sizes, different abilities. Low voltage fuses. I go through about 10, 15 of these a year. Very simple calls. Very hard problems to find though. Anything that pops these is dealing with a low voltage value, and that's quite a bit of things. And they run throughout your whole house, business, house. So I have, like I said, several bags of them. Actually, some of these could be combined. That's sort of why I'm doing this. This is what this is, inventory. Come back to that. Oh yeah, more straighter valves and the other one. So those will all go together. Put that to the side. And that's it for there. I can pull this out and stop carrying it pretty soon. I'm not gonna get all of this out, but it comes with tubing. This is a manometer for reading gas pressure. Pour it in, pour it out. This is how you can determine if a gas-fired heater is working properly. Let's put one of these on there and it will tell you your water column in inches. Very helpful. Honestly, I think I'm gonna go ahead and pull it out now. Okay, we're almost through this survey. All right. Last few things here. Pair of gloves. These particular ones I carry are the Milwaukee Impact. These are very stout gloves. This is the metric of the Allen wrenches. That's why I wasn't too worried about the standard. I carry the metal version. Safety glasses, in case the inspector ever comes. This set of jumpers is busted. These will be coming out of here. Doesn't make them bad, it just makes them kind of questionable to use. And sometimes when it's hot and 110 in an attic, last thing you want to do is be worried about whether or not you're going to shock yourself. So those will come out. Replacement zip ties, these are small ones. There's one battery, I thought there was another. Many versions of the screwdrivers, flathead, Phillips. Now, I actually need one more color, but in three-phase wiring, which is not what's in your house, which is not probably what anybody is familiar with who's watching this, but three-phase wiring actually uses blue and green in their wiring. So in order to match and make sure that you're staying correctly, you will find what phase matches to green or what phase matches to blue or brown or yellow, which is the other color I don't have and need is a yellow. Service wrenches. One straight, one angled, both necessary. And that's it. We got the whole tool bag. Went through except for, oh, I almost forgot. Electrical tape, recently replaced. tape measure. I like the auto lock because the auto lock will leave it extended out until you push the button, versus the other where you extend and then push the button, and this will go all the way to 12 feet. Even though it's a 25-footer, it will go to 12 feet before that tape starts to fall. I test it every time. All right, so put back in stuff that's going back in. Let's see here. So behind this is my next project. If y'all choose to stay here, I have the X-Max right there in the corner. And I have the rustler over here that I need to finish soldering the wires on and do the electrical connections on the X-Max. We're just going to put this back together, so I'll keep this going real quick. It takes super long, especially when you know where everything's at. What I am missing as well, and I lose about 3 a year, is I'm missing my thermometer. So I will have to get a replacement thermometer. These are all the tools to be an HVAC or refrigeration technician. I carry every single one of these on a daily basis. That's not saying I use every one on a daily basis, but I do show up to places and jobs where it is absolutely necessary to have these tools and to do whatever I'm asked to do that day. Everything needs to be in good shape. Everything needs to be available to find. Everything needs to be in its right spot, right, to do that. So that's why it's super important to do this inventory check. Make sure if I've lost something, like the tip to the 12-in-1, it needs to be replaced. Not real sure. Oh, why I have just a single battery. It's kind of weird. It's kind of like, where's the other? So, one other thing that I didn't show, but that I have in this bag, is something that is super hard to get hold of. This is the Danfoss controllers for the commercial unit economizers. Every time they install, the installers put in a Danfoss, they usually take these out, and then you can no longer access their programming. With this one, you can. So super hard to get one of these. And when you can definitely take care of a lot of problems. Everything in that. carry this small bit on my drill all the time. It's my most common used one. There's even an order I keep these in. Let's see, that goes in there, and we're almost done with this part. This time, oops. Ah, that's what goes there. I couldn't figure out what went up there. All right, so everything looks good there. This is the other thing I'm going to work on tonight. And what we have here is a Rustler 4x4. It's the ultimate. And what I did is I ordered in these two rear lights back here. And these two rear lights back here, they wanted an extra connection in order to make them work. They won't work on my 3 volt. So I'm having to solder, and I prepped them the other night. Here's one prep right here. Oh, I don't know why the light doesn't catch that very well. But so I need to prep the other side now, which is this one, to wire into the side I didn't cut yet. Oh wow, I did not cut that yet. Okay. So this is where it gets a little tricky doing all this. Gonna have to get the solder station up. And so what I think I'll do is I'll end this live for a moment and I'll start a new one so that I can go ahead and get my solder station all set up. And so if you'd like to come back and continue to join me as I get this thing soldered in, appreciate it. Thank you for being here. If you want to throw a like or anything, thank you.